Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's another edition of our Perfectly Placed preview show. Really looking forward to Saturday's racing here at HQ at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. We've got 10 races lined up. The first race going off at 12 o'clock. The Sparpot will start in race number 2 at 12:35. The PA race number 3 at 13:12. Race number 4 is where the pick 6 starts at 13:45. Race number 5 being the Wolevington Stakes. It's a listed event. They'll line up at the 2,500 meter marker. That's where the first jackpot starts. The second jackpot will start in the 7th race. So please take note of that. Second jackpot race 7 at 15:35. And of course, that's with the Western Cape Fillies Championship, a grade 2 event. And what a field it is. They'll line up at the 1,400 meter marker. All things being equal, the last race will be race number 10 at 17:20. Just before I go and introduce our lovely guest, great, I've been fighting to get Vicky onto Perfectly Placed. I know that she's very much got her followers out there, and it's great to have her join us. Go and give us a like on our social medias, being YouTube, our Facebook page, our Instagram page. There's so much activity happening leading up into the Cape Summer Festival. Vix, thank you very much for joining us. It's a great card. Obviously fortunate to have you on the show, and it's been a long time coming.
Looking forward to it, Brandon. Thank you very much. Quite the introduction. But I do have to just follow on from what you've said. Please subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on social media. The updates are coming fast and furious as the season builds. You know, we early November. It's only just going to get better and better. Looking forward to the 23rd of November. But we've got a card to get through. So let's get stuck in.
Let's get stuck in. That's it. We're here to make some money, all right? So we're going to dive straight into it. Race number 1 goes off at 12 o'clock. It's the Hollywoodbets Kenilworth welcomes your maiden plate. It's over 1,600 meters. Number 1, Tunguska's already been scratched. I believe that's how we say it. Let's have a look at the market. Number 4, Zeitz is your favorite at 21-10. Say 2-1. Number 3, Express Yourself at 5-1. Bombers in the Skies at 6-1. That's number 5. And after that, you're getting 8-1 in bets of those. All right, Vix, what are we doing in the first? How can we make some money leading up into the exotics?
I thought it's a good start. We've got a whole bunch of horses improving. This is over the 1,600 meters. So again, horses that will be possibly enjoying the trip. I've gone with a swinger, being number 3, Express Yourself, and number 4, Zeitz. I think Zeitz with the blinkers on will show a lot of improvement, and I think he'll still enjoy the winter straight. Cornet seems to be riding with a lot of pace and sitting up front, so I think that'll pay dividends, and they seem to be getting through the wind quite well. The other horse that I thought maybe just cast an eye over is Mr. Fox. I think we can see quite a bit of improvement from him.
Yeah, look, and we've got some lovely interview packages put together. A big thank you to Alistair Cohen for sorting it out. We had Richard Fourie, Louis Mkotwa, Corne Orfer, Glenn Cotson, and of course Justin Snays. So a wonderful interview package to help you for this 10-race program. Okay, so we've put up that slide already for race number 1. So we're going to move along to race number 2, where the bipod starts. 12:35 is where it all begins. And just having a look at race number 2, this is the Cape Turf Club Syndicate's Cape D Stakes. They're back to haunt us. Let's have a look at the betting for race number 2. Number 2, State Capital, your 5-2 joint favorite at number 10, Ozark. Number 7, Hang Out the Stars at 6-1, and it's 11-1 in bets of those. Vix, I know that I've been left with the tipping of the Cape D Stakes, which we'll chat about in just a moment. I thought this horse has done very well from Glen Cotson, State Capital. She ran a lovely race in Quebec last time out, and she's very much on that upwardly mobile trend. She must have a big chance.
I think so. I think her consistency most certainly needs to be rewarded. I know that his other runner is best weighted, but she's a little bit in the deep end there. So I think that State Capital is the most competitive. I also thought that Adam Marcus's filly is maybe one for a little bit of value. I thought her last one was good enough. But yeah, I think State Capital's a good selection in this race.
Yeah, look, I mean, Dream Searcher, you rightly mentioned about Adam Marcus, 13-1 the price. And then Ozark, who had absolutely no luck last time out. Richard Fourie did make mention to Alistair that this horse last time should have gone a lot closer. And all you need to do is watch that replay and you'll see for yourself. So 5-2 looks to be a decent price. I've tipped a bipod, so let's run through that bipod. I'm spending 480 Rand. First leg, I'm going 2 and 10, by 2, 5, 7 and 10, by 3, 6, 7, 12, by 1, 5, 6, 7 and 9, by 6, 7 and 12. And the last leg, I'm going to bank a number 12, and that's going to cost you 480 Rand. Let's move along. Let's go to race number 3, the first leg of today's Place Accumulator. 12 minutes past 1 is the off time. The third race this afternoon. We'll chat about that in a moment. I'm going to call up the betting for you as well. The Champagne Syndicate Class 4 over 1,600 meters. The betting, Vix, number 10, Sail the Seas, 22-10. 5, Hoodier at 13-2. At 7-1 about number 3, Master of Paris. And after that, you're getting 10-1 and better. Wow. This is a tough race. I know they think a lot of number 10 Sail the Seas. He is a very smart horse, and I thought Hoodia last time out also ran a cracker, being forced to do work early.
Most certainly. I think it's that time of the year where you see a lot of horses improving, change of course, change of tactics and that. But I think it's a very good first leg of the place accumulator. I thought that was a good selection to go with, and if you can.
Absolutely, jump straight into it.
Most certainly.
Let's catch it a few times.
So I've gone light in quite a few legs, so it's 32 rand for the place accumulator. The first leg I've gone 10 and 14, second leg 7 and 8, third leg 1 and 4, fourth leg 7 and 12, bankered 12 in the next leg, bankered 1 in the following leg, and then last leg 2 and 8. So that 32 rand, you can most certainly add to that. But I think that Gimme's Countess she's quite impressive. But we'll get more into that a little later.
Fix, just quickly, in the third race, if I was going to come to you and say I want to make some money for the pick 6 a bit later on, give me one horse I can go and back. Would you go with Hoodia or would you go with Sail the Seas? Which way would you go with?
I think possibly Hoodia. The yard's in good form, and you can see their horses have been well for quite a while, but I think they're really coming through at this point. They sort of simmer under the levels and then really boost up, and last meeting hinted that they've come well.
All right, so Hoodia, a decent price. You're getting 13-2. PA starts 9, race number 3. Follow Vicky's selections. Let's catch that PA a few times, and it'll hopefully set us up for a lovely week ahead. Let's go to race number 4. This is the big one of the afternoon. I keep saying that because this is the bet that can change your life. It's all about structure at the end of the day. I'll come back to that betting in just a moment. I know that Night Bomber is very well fancied. Louis Mqotwa did give us some confidence in those perfectly placed interviews. This is the celebrating Centurion member Gary Player's birthday. It's a Cape B Stakes in the lineup at the 1100 meter marker. Number 7, Night Bomber, is your favorite at 9-2. Number 2, Tanango's at 7-1, with number 3, Black Egret. Number 4, Sweetie Darling at 7-1, and at 17-2 and better. All right, Vix, this is not an easy race. I've gone with the obvious selection of Night Bomber. I'll chat to you about him in just a moment. Is there anything after that horse that you could see surprising?
I think, look, Sweetie Darling's had a gallop. She had a gallop at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, so she's been prepared. In that way, is I think what makes the race tricky is, even though there's been some support for Tanango, you do want to lean towards Night Bomber, but I thought Sweetie Darling would be a nice backup.
Nice value, 7-1, and Glenn Cotson got his yard in good form as well. Of course, these Silks is a horse that you need to follow for the Cape Summer, being On My Honor, that of Sandy and Eugene Arundel. I'm going to go with number 7, Night Bomber. I thought he was a bit unlucky not to have got closer last time out. Now that he races back up the straight here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, he's very much at home. He's got the speed, and I'm hoping that he can hit the line strongly. So 9-2 for me, a bit of value, and I'm going to go with each way on that individual, hoping that Louis Mqotwa can continue that good trend with Brett Crawford. So we move along to race number 5. It's the Wolevington Stakes. It's a listed event. They line up at the 2,500 meter marker. First jackpot starts now, and you need to be on at 14.25. We're going to call up the betting as we always do. Favourites number 9, Future Swing at 5-2. Number 4, Otto Lucan at 11-2, and at 6-1 and better those. Vix, it's going to be a great race. I think there's value to be had with a number of these horses. We're chatting off air. A horse like Damio, got no weight on his back, still very much improving, and now over his right trip, I would imagine. Exactly.
It is an interesting race from the point of view that a lot of these horses, it'll be pace dependent. Even Ponte Pietra, he can take a little bit of a tug, but has performed at quite a high level. For me, my bet's each way Damio. I think that he's a progressive stayer, and often you hear trainers speaking about the fact that the staying level, it's not as competitive as it used to be. So I think Damio, if he's improving and getting stronger, enjoying the trip, I think that he'll do very well. Otto Lucan, such a fascinating horse. He's a big burly individual, and he takes a little bit of asking to get into it, can sometimes be a little bit slow initially, but he just has got such a brilliant galloping rhythm. But yeah, look, it's going to be a great and competitive race. The 2-5, you can see it sort of from the room where we're sitting. You've got a good view of the start, but Future Swing too. Richard seems to really enjoy him and seems to side with him often, which is interesting.
Baratheon, number 7, I think he was all turned out by Pit Buerta last time. I think it was 100 winners for him on that occasion. So a very special moment, and I thought the interview is what captured me the most, Vix, because this is what this game's all about. I mean, that raw passion that we see with people and what these horses mean to them. So let's hope that he goes well for them as well.
He should do. His last one was brilliant, you mentioned, and especially that he wasn't well going into it. They touched on the fact that he had a bit of biliary and wasn't in the best of health, so his prep was a little bit limited, so actually better off for that run. So most certainly one to keep out for.
Okay, so there you go. Vicky's going to be going the each way on Damio. Lovely price. You can't get hurt at that price. 17-2. Maybe race time might shorten up a little bit, but each way for Vicky when it comes to race number 5. And this will be the Wolevington Stakes over 2,500 meters. So we move along to race number 6. Again, it's going to be a very good race. It's the Laissez-Faire Stakes, the listed event over 1,100 meters. I want to run through the betting first. Number 6, Southern Skies is your favorite. I'm not sure I'll be diving in 4-1. Yes, she's in good spirit, she's in good heart. She's doing everything right here in the Western Cape, but she's going to have to click it up a little bit now. This is a lot stronger than what she's been running against. 7 Nordic Quest at 4-1, 12 B Marys at 5-1, and after that it's 17-2 and better. All right, Vix, it's a very good race. I think races 5, 6, and 7 are a must-watch amongst our followers. Just chatting to you off-air about this race, a horse like B Mary's done everything right, Nordic Quest has done everything right, and even Southern Skies has done everything right. If I was going to ask you for a selection, yeah, how would you play it?
For me, I think B Mary's been very impressive. I know that JP's riding her, but Richard's always spoken about the fact that she's really top-notch and she can sustain herself quite well. The question is the 1,100 meters. It's a little bit more of a test, especially at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. So it's undulating. You get often the headwind, or it's a little bit of a crosswind, but it's more testing than the Hollywoodbets Durbanville 1,000 meters. But I think JP would have ridden her at work. Richard would have also, had a chat with him. So I think if ridden smartly, JP can get her to be quite economical over the trip and hopefully produce the best of her late. However, tactics play into it, and I think Nordic Quest, if she does the stalking, she could maybe challenge at the end.
And she's very much improving. I think she's only getting better now as a 4-year-old, and I think she'll be even better as a 5-year-old, number 7, Nordic Quest. It's been the slow game with her, Vix, and her form has been very good. Southern Skies has done everything right. A big well done to Eric Sands and, of course, Michael and Adam Azzi. A big thank you for leaving this filly in the Western Cape, because it's starting to pay dividends. And then I want to chat to you quickly, Vix. Number 8, Summer Lily. Are you at all concerned the drop-in trip from 1,400 meters back up the straight here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth? Is it a case of if they go fast up in front, she might be able to mow them down?
It can often be the case, Brandon, especially if they've got an extra bit of stamina and maybe a well-selected race from the yard, just to opt for this and just use it as it could either be a prep and a test, but I think the fact that she's got the stamina counts in her favour. They might be a bit quick for initially, but like I said, it often suits the horse with a turn of foot. So that could play in her favour.
Now that I've seen the betting, I'm going to go and take the swinger. I'm going to go with number 7, Nordic Quest, as well as the very much improving number 12, B Mary. They're decent prices right now, and I'm sure on the tote it'll pay a decent sum. So swinger for me, 7 and 12 when it comes to race number 6. Let's move along. Let's go to race number 7. This is undoubtedly the race of the afternoon. It's great to see number 12, Gimmy's Countess, in action. She's your 17-10 favourite. 3 Symphony in Whites at 15-4. Number 7, My Sensation at 17-2. With number 8, Festival Chic, and it's 13-1 and better. Okay, this is where the second jackpot starts. Just a reminder, I haven't seen Vicky's play when it comes to race number 7, but wow, Vix, this is an unbelievable race. I know this is just to give us a little teaser of what's to come in the summer festival.
Indeed, and it's a great race for that purpose. You either have horses prepped for this that maybe are 1,400 meter fillies, or you have horses that it's a stepping stone into the WSB Cape Fillies Guineas. So looking forward to how it's going to go. I think Gimmy's Countess is just so impressive. Her last win, she did a lot of work, Brandon, to come from where she did. We didn't think that she'd manage to get there. However, she did. I thought it was a very good effort. She's got the draw to overcome, which is going to be a challenge for her. And you've got horses that are improving. You've mentioned Symphony in White, My Sensation from the Lucinda Woodruff yard. Lovely to have her represented in this race, and I think that she's a lovely scopy filly, and you can see that she'll just get better from this. So it is going to be an interesting race, but for me, Gimmy's Countess was that impressive last time.
I need to ask you about one more horse being the headliner of the day. I'm sure Chad, our producer, wouldn't mind us spending a little bit more time. Vic's number 1, Little Susie. She's going to have to step up, there's no doubt. She's very well related, but her last win was super impressive. It was indeed.
She's also great value, Brandon. I thought draw 1, it's going to be a lot easier for her from that draw. And she just reminds me so much of her mother. She's got a similar type of action and the way she carries herself. So most certainly a filly at that price to include.
Okay, so that's the Western Cape Fillies Championship. Vix is going to leave us with her selections as we close it off. Please make sure you tune in. 15:35. It's going to be a great race to watch. Vix, how are we going to make some money in this race?
Look, I think with regard to Little Susie. I think a good each way bet. However, for me, I feel quite strongly about a win on number 12, Gimmy's Countess.
Fantastic. 16 to 10. I thought a decent price. Gimmy's Countess. All she needs to do is bring that last run to the course and she'll be very hard to beat. Let's move along. Let's go to the 8th race. The 8th race as we get closer and closer to the 10th and final. The 8th race goes off at 4:10. It's the Race Cape powered by Hollywoodbets. It's a class 4 for fillies and mares and they line up at the 1400 meter marker. The betting at the moment has number 6 Scarlet McCaw at 3-1, 8 Pink Pigeon at 33-10, 11-2 number 9 2Gs, and you're getting 17-2 and better. Scarlet McCaw, I know you spend a lot of time in the parade ring, you watch horses. She's not the biggest, if memory serves me correct.
She's not the biggest, but she's done incredibly well. She's really been quite progressive, more so than when I thought of. Initially, she took a little bit of time to strengthen up and find her feet, but she's doing well.
And a horse that I do want to ask you about, because you gave the punters all the confidence in the world, and I'm hoping they listened up, Pink Pigeon. She's a beautiful big filly. She moved to the start exceptionally well last time out. Never easy out of the maidens, but of this rating of 83, one would imagine there's still scope.
Brandon, absolutely. Pink Pigeon last time, it wasn't so much the fact that she was she was an absolute standout on parade, cantering down last time. But it was the comments from Louis in the post-race interview that really made me prick my ears. And the fact that he said, we thought she would have won already, the quality of work she shows at home. So from that point of view, it wasn't a surprise win. And based on that feedback and just gauging on her form, she will be progressive. And I think out the maidens, it's most certainly she's going to continue her streak of competitiveness.
Is it Swatek?
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Swantek.
Okay, well, I'll leave the pronunciation to Vicky. That form line, I know it was a shock winner, 125-1 on debut. She made her run with Miraculous. Miraculous came out to win a very good race on Tuesday afternoon at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. And in the same race was a horse called Goodness Gracious Me. It was also a lovely filly trained by Justin Snay. So perhaps now stepping up in trip, I think this horse, Swatek. Vicky gives me the hairy eyeball. Let's go and watch her closely. I think it's a horse that could be potentially anything. The sky could be the limit. And Spoil Yourself, I was a little bit disappointed with her last time out because when she won her maiden, she looked like a filly that we need to watch closely. I'm going to forgive her. We're all entitled to a day off. She's smart, number 3, Spoil Yourself. Now, it's not an easy race. I'm not going to suggest you go and put the rent money on anything when it comes to race number 8, but I'm going to take the swingers 6 and 8. That's my value play when it comes to this race. So 6 being Scarlet McCorm. We've spent time chatting about her. Her form is very good. And then number 8, Pink Pigeon, hoping that she's made that improvement from her last win into this run now, being on Saturday afternoon. Let's hope it pays a few rand. The off time of this particular race is 4:10. We move along to the penultimate race, which will be race number 9. It's the Join the Journey, www.capeturfclub.co.za. It's a Hollywoodbets Class 4 event. They line up at the top of the straight of 1200 meters, the off time being 16:45. Wide open race, probably the most difficult race on this 10-race program. Number 2, Let It Be Said at 11-2. 1 Impact Investor at 15-2 with number 8, Arctic Wizard. And it's 10-1 and better the field. I don't know, Vicky, I gave you first choice as to what races you wanted to tip for, and this is a nightmare. You can take it away.
I think Let It Be Said was very impressive. Nice, really nice type of horse. So I think in with a really good shot. Greg Enyan's got a brilliant coupling here with Arctic Wizard and Sir Korski, both very progressive horses. It seems the market's leaning towards Cornet Offers Ride Arctic Wizard, but Sir Korski not to be ignored. He also, last time out, held himself better. And for me, Brandon, the most fascinating horse in the race is 2020 Vision. The yard have always touted him as a horse with ability, but held back by a few issues. However, his last 2 starts, he's moved like a dream, and he's won both of them. So you have to keep your eye on him. Brett's horses also look particularly well at the moment.
Has Grandma still got shares in 2020 Vision?
I think he bolted the course before the winners.
Before the first win, I think. But it's an interesting race. I do agree with you. I think a horse like Trippy Silk needs to be respected. Lunch money, both at big prices at 30-1 respectively. Great to have Marco van Rensburg out here in the Western Cape on Saturday afternoon. He's a man that's banging them home, Vix.
Indeed, you can't often see him in the winner's box. And I think also his riding style, he's we can call him he might have a go at me for this, but old school jockey. So, you know, from the old school with good racing brain and how to read things. So it's never easy coming to the Western Cape, but he's a well-seasoned jockey at this point.
How are we making money in race 9?
Look, I think it's a tough one. For me, I'd go Swinger, Let It Be Said, and I'd go Sikorsky. I think that he's good enough here. Trippy Silks, he's tricky out those pens. He costs himself often like that, so I'm a little bit wary about him, but he most certainly can be competitive.
Okay, so if that Swinger arrives, 2 Let It Be Said and number 5 Sikorsky, it'll pay a rocket on the tote. That's how Vicky suggests we make some money when it comes to the penultimate. Let's go to the 10th and final race. 17:20 is the off time. The 10th race, the Get Out Stakes. If we've done our cash going into the last, dig a little bit deeper in those pockets. I'm hoping that we can get out of it. The favourites, number 12, Champagne Mac at 5-2. Number 5 is Skrios at 9-2. Number 11, Prince of Tibet at 11-2. And it's 15-2 and better those. It's the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Class 5, and they go to the 1200 metre marker. Last race. Vicky, we've come to the last. We're either going to be up by now or we've done the lolly. How are we going to make some money?
No, it's going to be a good day's racing, Brandon. We're not going to put bad vibes. It's going to be a brilliant day. We're all going to enjoy it and make lots of money. But look, I think that Iskero's really been programmed well by Lucinda. So I think he's most certainly a horse that he's still quite small and immature. So most certainly strengthening up and all that. But Champagne Mac's quite sort of honest and hard, tough as they come and consistent from that point of view. So I think those horses are a really great way to round the day off.
I'm going to say when we come to the last, we're going back. This was Champagne Mac. I think 5-2 is a decent price. I know last time out the race didn't work out for Richard Fourie. If you go and listen to what he said in those perfectly placed interviews, he's a bit of a thinker, Champagne Mac. And I must say, Lunga Gila, even though only having him for such a short space, I thought there was an exceptional run last time at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. So my suggested play when it comes to the last race will be Champagne Mac. That's where we're going to go and take the price of 5-2. It's the Get Out Stakes. Let's have a good bet on the nose. All right, that's how we close it off. Vicky, thank you very much for joining us. I know you do a lot of hard work behind closed doors, whether it be sales, whether it be race meeting. You are unbelievably talented, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure going through the preview with you. So please make sure that you subscribe, like, and follow us on social media to keep updated, especially as the wonderful season unfolds.
It's going to be a good meeting. Join us on Saturday, the 9th of November.